Hey, I'm Kat Reiner, and today I'm going to write a song. We have a lot of the lyrics. Completely made up story about a woman named Grace and a dude named Henry. And yeah, I'm gonna just show you what that's like. Okay, so as I said, I have this lyric that's already, I already like it, so that's cool. And I feel like that this is like in an open tuning kind of a thing. I don't know, I've been kind of into this lately, this kind of Joni thing with an open D. Oh yeah, and by the way, I live in New York City, and somebody has decided that a leaf blower is the best way to clean a sidewalk, and so that's going on in the background. I usually start out with some kind of groove. There's a subway. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and gave her advice when she got lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through their years, but never thought of the other. And alright, I don't hate it. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and okay, so what I notice right now is that the way that I have this written out, the rhyme scheme's a little weird. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. Okay, so I kind of like that. So then I have to figure out how to fit the second little verse that I wrote kind of in there. He played bass in a band and helped her when she got lost. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont. He played bass in a band and helped her when she got lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but never thought of. Okay, I kind of like that, but then I need something that rhymes with lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but neither ever thought of the lost. Thought of the cost. It kind of makes sense. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and gave her advice when she got lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but neither ever thought of. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but neither ever thought of the cost. One night when they were both free, he asked her to a party. She declined for a one-night stand, and he found someone to marry you. There's one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Does anyone ever think about what might have been, or do we fall in line until the end? It's not terrible. I like the beginning. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. They met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and gave advice when she got lost. She wrote the songs and carried them through, but neither thought of the cost. Then one night when both were free, one night when both were free, asked her to party. She declined for a one-night stand. He found someone to marry. Or does one night even matter? It's one night even. Grace was a singer. One night when both were free, he asked her to party. She declined for a one-night stand. He found someone to marry. Oh, does one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I like what I've found for the verse. Pre-chorus is okay. It feels long, but it kind of need the information, so I'm gonna see if I can speed up the phrasing to make it feel less long. One night when both were free, asked her to a party. She declined for a one-night stand, and he found someone to marry. Oh, that's better. One night when both were free, asked her to a party. She declined for a one-night stand, and he found someone to marry. Oh, does one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? It's not terrible. Night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does one night even matter what might have been? Or do we just fall in line until the end? I'm thinking, I'm not sure the lyric works. And so this is something really interesting. Like, if you've written your lyrics before you find the music, sometimes the music like supersedes what you've written, and you kind of need to shift and make some adjustments based on what's happening. Because like in this particular case, I don't really have a melody in my head. I just have like the story. And so as I'm finding chords and places for this to go, I'm trying to figure out like how to fit what I have with kind of the groove of what I have going on. Also, I've written a bunch of songs recently in this tuning, so maybe not the best choice because I keep finding myself going to similar things that I've done in this tuning. So that's also just something that I'm personally like noticing. But I kind of like this. It's one night even matter. It's one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control. I like this static line in the chorus because my verse is going, Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont and Henry was from LA. Bed in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. It kind of goes like that, and then one night when both were free, asked her to a party. She declined for a one-night stand, and he found someone to marry. Oh, it's one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? And I like the end of this. I feel like I need another line. It's one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control. One Not even matter. And then I want that twice. Okay, now I need things that rhyme with control. Because that's gonna help me find the end of the line. When I even manifest into control, it's when I even matter. Wow, that's a hard word to rhyme. Evoke, kind of. Oh, we could do like stolen. Not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Not even matter when you're stolen. Not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Not even matter when you're broken and you're broken control. Not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Not even matter when you're broken and you're stolen. How it is. All you ever think about. That's not terrible. Not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Not even matter when you're broken and you're stolen. Weird. Is when not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Is when not even matter when you're broken and you're stolen. Is when you would ever think about what might have been. Or do we just fall in line? Just fall in line until the end. Is when not even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Is when not even matter when you're broken and you're stolen. Does not anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we just fall in line until the end? Okay, so this is one of those moments when, as a songwriter, having written like songs for 30 years, I've got enough of it that I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure out what that fourth line should be. It's close. It doesn't exactly resonate. It's kind of weird. And I sort of recognize that, and then I'm gonna move on. Because like, if I don't, I won't finish this in a time that you'd actually want to watch it. But also, like, I've just learned that like, if I have something that's close, I can always go back and fix it. And so it's kind of like a placeholder. But yeah, so here's what I got so far. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in a city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and gave advice when she got lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but never thought of the cost. One night when both were free, he asked her to a party. She declined for one night stand, and he found someone to marry. Oh, does night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does night even matter when you're broken and you're stolen? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line and all just fall in line until the end? All just fall in line, all just fall in line until the end. All just fall in line until the end. All just fall in line until the end. When night even matter, when fate steps in and takes control. Does it even matter when you're broken and you're stolen? Does anyone ever do we all just fall in line until the end? Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed beyond this world. He found another and built a life from the ashes of the first. Grace found happiness within the sadness of never being called mine. Her career took off and she followed every award with another. Sometimes they dream of what might have been, but their lives are good and there's no do-overs in the end. Does one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does one night even matter when you're broken and you're stolen? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? Okay, so that's like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. It pretty much works. I want rhymes to land a little better. I kind of need something that rhymes with mom. Found happiness within the sadness of never being called a mom. Career took off and she followed every award. Career took off, she followed every award with another one. Ooh, that works. Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed beyond this world. He found another and built a life from the ashes of the first. Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed beyond this world. I need like another line. Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed far beyond this world. He found another and built a life from the ashes of. He found another and built a life far past far. He found another and built a life from the. I want that rhyme. He found another and built a life from the other ashes of the first. But that's kind of depressing and gross. Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed far beyond this world. He found another and built a life from. He found another, built a life from the. Okay, this is where I drink tea. I often laugh at myself when I'm writing because sometimes I come up with silly things that are stupid and they don't work. Which is also something to keep in mind when you are co-writing, because it's really good to throw out stupid things because then they don't get stuck. So I find I do that with myself. And what's cool about this is that it's not like a true story, so it's just something I made up, so I can make the characters do whatever I want them to do. And which is different if you're writing. Well, it's not different, but it's a little harder when you have a story that you know that you're writing about. It's sometimes often harder to change the facts. But in this case, because it's just totally made up, yeah, I can change the facts as much as I want to, which is kind of fun. And I really want something that rhymes with another. Brother, that's, no. Other. Cover, hover. Oh. He found another lover, built a life from the ashes of the first. He found another lover, built a life. He found another lover. He found another, built a lover from the. He found another. He found another, built a life from the. And he found another, fell in love, and built a life from the ashes of the first. Henry had a daughter, then his wife passed far beyond this world. He found another, fell in love, and built a life from the ashes of the first. See? Grace found happiness within the sadness of never being called a mom. Career took off and she followed every award with another one. Sometimes they dream of what might have been, but their lives are good and there's no do-overs in the end. Is one night ever matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does one night even matter when you're broken and you're stolen? Does one night even think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? Okay, cool. So now I figured that out. I really like that. I get the of and the I, and then I get alliteration with the L and the L. So one thing, so I've been writing songs for a really long time, and like 30 years. That's just really cool to me. But I started kind of later actually. But also with this instrument, I started playing this during the pandemic. So like 2021 was really when I got started. So kind of only like 4 years. And that feels really empowering because I could not play the instrument. So that's kind of fun. But going back to songwriting, one of the things that when you write a lot of songs, you learn how to do is kind of stay in this flow state, which I'm totally out of now because I'm talking to you, but like in this flow state of writing, and then you kind of stop for a second, check in, analyze, but you're still in this big overall flow state, and so you don't lose momentum in the song. So now I need to go to the bridge. And I'm thinking... Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. One Grace, one night, that's where that is. Okay, so... Decades pass, and now they're both alone, with full lives beyond them lived. They meet up to play a show in memory of time, but time disappears with the first sound. Even if you never think about what might have been, fate steps in and takes control. 'Cause one night always matters when you're broken and you're stolen in the end. Ooh, I need to figure out what that line is. Okay, but I like this. Decades pass and now they're both alone, with full lives lives beyond them, then they meet up to play a show. Memory of time, but time disappears with the first sound, and they're back where they began together at last. Night even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Night even matter when you're broken and you're stolen. Fate steps in and takes control, 'cause one night always matters in the end. Okay, that kind of works. And I almost wonder, night even matter when you're broken and alone. That might work better. Night even matter when fate steps in and takes control. Night ever matter when you're broken and alone. And anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the end? Decades pass, and now they're both alone, with full lives lived, they lead up to play a show. Memory of time, but time disappears with the first sound, and they're back where they began, together at last. One night always matters when fate steps in and takes control. One night always matters when you're broken and alone, and it takes control, 'cause one night always matters in the end. It's something like that at the end. The bridge has too many words, and it's like too much. How can I say it less? Decades pass, and now they're both alone. Full lives live, they full lives behind them, they meet up to play a show. With lives behind them, they meet up to play a show. That's better. Decades pass, and now they're both alone. Lives behind them, they meet up to play a show. Time disappears with the first sound, and they're back to where they began, together at last. One night always matters when your deck cuts in and takes control. One night even matters when you're broken and alone. Fate steps in and takes control, 'cause one night always matters in the end. I think maybe I have my first idea. Even if you never think about what might have been, even when you're sad and broken and alone, yeah, even if you never think about what might have been, fate steps in and takes control. One night always matters in the end. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that. Even if you never think about what might have been, even if you never think you're broken and alone, fate steps in and takes control, 'cause one night always matters in the end. In the end. Okay, so I think that's kind of it. Let's give it a shot. Grace was a singer from a small town in Vermont, and Henry was from LA. Met in the city that never sleeps, both were on their way. He played bass in a band and gave advice when she got lost. She wrote the songs that carried them through, but never thought of the cost. One night when both were free, asked her to a party. She declined for a one-night stand, and she found someone, he found someone to marry you. Does one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does one night even matter when you're broken and alone? Does anyone ever think about what might have been? Or do we all just fall in line until the daughter, then his wife passed beyond this world. He found another, fell in love, and built a life from the ashes of the first. Grace found happiness within the sadness of being never called a mom. Career took off, and she followed every award with another one. Sometimes they each dream of what might have been. Their lives are good, and there's no do-overs in the end. Does one night even matter when fate steps in and takes control? Does one night even matter when you're broken and alone? us, and now they're both alone. Lives behind them, they meet up to play a show. Time disappears with the first sound, and they're back where they began, together at last. Even if you never think about what could have been, even if you never think you're broken and alone, fate steps in and takes control, 'cause one night always matters in the end. In the end. It probably needs a little work. Actually, I know it needs a little work on the melodies and like solidifying a few things, but like that is like pretty, like it's a good first draft of something. And if you're writing your own songs, my suggestion is kind of get it to a point where like it's like this, where like I can come back to this tomorrow, and I will, and like work on it some more and like really refine it until I get something that like really lands. I'm noticing there are a few phrasing things and like some rhyme things that are sort of like tickling my brain of like that doesn't quite work, and the chorus at the end, I'm not sure about the lyric, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So I'll see you in a little bit. Please check out the rest of my YouTube channel and subscribe, and thanks a lot. Bye.